Welcome to Mega Path Presents. I'm Ronny Haze, and this is Dead Living Q&A Part 3. I'm going to jump right into this. If you're new to Dead Living, or this is the first time you're hearing about it, or this channel, or you just stumbled on this video, Dead Living is a comic I created and I'm writing. James Milne is kicking ass doing the artwork. I'm going to leave a link to the playlist for all the update videos. Go check them out. Other than that, let's get right into the questions. I hope one of the twists is that your zombies can actually communicate, talking hopefully, albeit slurred and slow, but that would be a game changer. Unfortunately, I hate to disappoint, but there will not at all be any talking zombies whatsoever. However, that doesn't mean that a stage of the zombie process won't be able to communicate in some way. Stay tuned for that. Living mean totally isolated from death. Dead mean without any living chance. It is two different thing and no blurred line within. How could it be living and dead at the same time? Personally, I think that Walking Dead is one of the best titles for zombie. A completion name, more precise. Consider, preserve, living, and change the description of dead. That paragraph was pretty damn choppy. I really hope that I'm able to get this right, but it sounds like you don't like the title Dead Living, which, no fear, that is not the title at all. Listen, the only reason I'm using Dead Living as a working title is because it's simply Living Dead spun around, and Dead Living essentially just means that these people are living towards death. Death is coming for them. There's no tomorrow. Like, there's death tomorrow. You will die, you know. And that, again, is not the title. Dead Living is not the title. It's the working title only. The official title is because I was not confident that I knew everything I needed to know about copyrights, about registering for them. On top of that, I needed time to be able to set up the social media accounts, the websites, because immediately when I mentioned the Dead Living, people already started Instagram Dead Living accounts. You know what I mean? Dead Living's already taken on Instagram. So I wanted to be cautious about that. When I first started, someone took Make a Path Presents on Instagram. You know, I wanted to be cautious. I got all my ducks lined up in a row before I came out with the official title. So if you don't like Dead Living, don't worry, it's not the official title. Although I can guarantee that you will like the official title, though. When issue 1 is released and well received, will issues then be coming out monthly or at least close to it? We don't know. We're going to try to do our best to come out as close as we can. But like I said with the previous Q&A number 1, I believe it was, we also have to ship these ourselves. We're going to get a stack in and we're going to have to package, go through the orders, and that's how it's looking. That's how it's looking like we're going to have to do it. So if we're taking days or weeks to ship these, that's definitely going to take away time we have to work on the next issue. So we're just going to have to see when we get to that bridge how much time we will have or how much time will be eaten up by shipping out the first issue. But we are definitely doing our best to make sure not a lot of time passes between issue 1 and 2. Have you considered turning your comic into a manga instead? It may even go on to become an anime. Now here's the thing, I'm not all that familiar with manga. I do know the reason I'm not is because I don't like the art style. Like, I don't like it so much to the point, and it's no offense if people like that style, you like that style, that's absolutely fine. But it's so much to the point where I don't like the style that I would have absolutely no fun in doing that, even visually getting the visuals back. I've seen some really cool images as far as Attack on Titan. I've seen some promo images that looked really badass, but it's the characters, the way the faces are designed, and again, I am new with manga, so I don't know any other difference between a comic and a manga besides, you know, the look of it or the style of it. So if that is the only difference, then no, I won't ever go into a manga unless people translate it into that for fun. Is that a thing? I don't know. But no, or an anime. I'm not an anime fan at all, so that's something that I myself directly wouldn't be working on. Garrett Manahan. Is it going to be obvious where the timeline each issue is? For instance, is issue 1 going to start by saying day 3,500, then issue 2 starts with day 1, or do we figure it out as we go? You're going to figure it out. One thing I really don't like doing is title cards. I really don't even like reading it. I know a lot of times with stories like that, you got to say the state or where it's at, what day it is, shit like that, and I don't know, reading it and even thinking about adding that in a story, there's something there that just stands out to me and I don't like it. And I do know some stories need it because they're bouncing around to different areas. No, I will not be putting little title cards in there telling you this is 2 months into the outbreak, 3 months into the outbreak. With exposition, with hearing things on the news or hearing people talk, you will know. And considering part of the mystery is seeing where we are at in issue 1 and then issue 2 and trying to piece it together based on the story, in my eyes, in my opinion, I should say, that is part of the fun in the mystery of it. You know what I mean? Hey, Ronnie, have you thought about doing a pre-sale? The color looks awesome, especially the fireworks. Thank you very much. Yes, we're keeping options open and we're heading into that stage where we're looking at different options and different ways of doing things. So we're definitely keeping that option open. You said the physical copy of issue 1 might go through Kickstarter. If you do issue 2, will it be possible to get physical copies also? Yeah, I'm always going to try to give people physical copies because it's what I prefer. As a fan of anything, physical is it. It doesn't matter if it's video games. It doesn't matter if it's comic books. I am hands-on. I want the hard copy. I am so stoked to read this and happy for you, man. Serious question. Are you worried about backlash from people saying it looks too much like The Walking Dead, the art style and so forth? That's always going to be an issue, and especially with this art style, it is very similar to The Walking Dead, and I'm really banking on the color separating it, you know what I mean? Because The Walking Dead is a black and white comic, so when people read it, it has that specific look in black and white, and I'm really, really hoping that the color will help it stand out. Looking like The Walking Dead is not something that I'm trying to go for. The artist just happens to have trained in that style, so there's no way around it. Not only that, that is a style, so if the artist said, well, let me just go and study a different style, if he did it in somebody else's different style, then people could come up and say, oh, you wrote that like in the same style as Outcast or in the same style as, this Todd McFarlane or somebody else. So if he changes it from that style and goes into another one, chances are people will just say that about that other different style. You know what I mean? So I think in that aspect, it's a lose-lose either way. You just kind of, hopefully the story with the art will set it apart as much as we need, How many characters are in the story? Like, what are their names? And do certain ones have unique skills? If you could talk about that stuff without spoilers. Right now, I'm only revealing Tristan and Katie because those are the first 2 characters we're going to focus on early on, and it will be months before we see any real new characters beyond that. We're going to see some side characters that we will see again later, and they won't be side characters anymore. However, as far as revealing that now, it might go into spoilers or it might reveal something that we're not even going to get to until like issue 4 or 5. We're not starting off with a group of people surviving. You know what I mean? It's completely different. We are mainly following Tristan for the first couple issues. Tristan and his co-worker Katie. Are all the issues going to be in physical form as well, or just some physical and some online? Again, I'm trying to do, if I could do physical all the time, that's what I'm doing. How much will each version cost to physical to online? The only difference would be shipping, most likely, getting the physical copy shipped to you. Are the physical issues going to have variants? I don't want to do variants for every single issue. I got turned off by a comic that was doing variants, 2 or 3 variants every single issue. I don't want to overload it with variants, but the first issue, I'm trying to do a wraparound and then a night and day variant, which would be 3 comics total if you bought each cover. Are you going to make all 67 issues in trade paperback or compendium style after the issues are released? Yeah, again, we're gonna, if it makes it that long, absolutely we'll do trades. Where can we pre-order it? We don't have any pre-orders set up. Stay tuned for more information on that. How do zombies keep their pants and shoes on? Shouldn't most zombies be crawling on the ground or shuffling with their pants around their ankles? Yeah, you see a lot of rotted zombies, and that's just because you're not going to show a dick flopping in the wind, you know what I mean? Especially on AMC. But yeah, if you see a lot of rotted zombies that thin out a lot, their pants will definitely fall down around their ankles, and you might even see some of that in my story. Just for you, buddy. You would be surprised how many copyrights there are for so many things. The word zombie was copywritten by Marvel for 3,040 years? What? Hold on, let me look this up. Marvel once owned the rights to the word zombie. As improbable as it sounds, Marvel attempted to copyright the word zombie in comic book titles after publishing Tale of the Zombie in 1979. By the time the trademark was approved 2 years later, the series was coming to an end. Marvel lost the trademark in 1996, but it wasn't long before it was once again trademarking the Armies of the Undead, registering the words Marvel Zombies to protect its comic series of the same name. With DC, Marvel also trademarked the phrase superhero. Yeah, listen, zombie, I'm not worried about it. Zombie's not going to be in the title, so I'm not worried about it. But yeah, it looks like here they haven't. I don't know where you got that 30, or maybe you need that. Maybe you mean the year 3040. I don't know where you got that. Maybe you can give us some more information. But officially, when I Googled it, it looks like they lost their trademark in 1996, and it doesn't look like you can actually trademark the word zombie. Yeah, you would be surprised. There's lots of different crazy stuff that has copyrights on it, but you have to go and research those and look through the registry to see what's copywritten or not. Will this ever be published, like a limited run or something, maybe setting up a funding for a print for the whole comic for those who want to support the comic? Yeah, absolutely. We've talked about this a few times. We're definitely trying to get physical copies out there. As far as being published by a publisher, that only time will tell. If people are interested, if there's a lot of excitement around this, if you guys support this, if you want this story, I'm not even telling you to support it. If you like it, if you're interested, if this is something you like, you will support it, and that will mean the world to me. It will mean a lot more to me than me just simply begging or asking you guys to support it. If you don't like it, if you're not interested, fall back. If you do support it, I am thrilled. I mean, you made my life. You know what I mean? It means a lot to me. And if there is support, if there is interest, it'll definitely get picked up. That's just the way the world works. If there's a lot of interest for something, somebody will pick it up somewhere. Will it be in comic shops in South Carolina? No, it will not be in any comic shops. If the day comes where it does get distributed in comic shops, I will definitely announce that. How many issues do you need to sell per issue to keep it going? I have no clue, but that is definitely something I'm looking into as far as getting with the artist, because as long as the artist is getting some money to continue to do it, I'm not looking to make money on writing it. Again, this is 100% a passion project of mine that I'm definitely willing to always tell the story as long as I have the time to tell the story. If I got to go to work and put food on the plate or something, or if I got to pick up an extra job, I'm definitely going to do that because I need to. So as long as I continue to have the time and I'm able to do it in my spare time to do it for free, I'm definitely doing it. But again, at the end of the day, I do want to make sure the artist gets some money for his work, money that he deserves. And I'm not trying to do it immediately that day. We both know there's a long road to travel before we can get to that point where we might not even see any money on it. You know what I mean? That's definitely possible, and we know the risks. Absolutely. Why don't you try going to a publisher first? Maybe you can get a deal. Absolutely, maybe. I've got an email from a publisher that I never heard of before, but it's a small-time publisher that just wanted to chit-chat, and that was a little while ago when I was previewing it. Now, here's the thing. I don't want to. I'm not going because I just don't want to. What we want to do is we want to build the interest and show that there's a fan base there. If fans see it and like it, I will know to continue. Absolutely, this is the path it's meant to go down. If you guys do not like it, then it will still just be my passion project to get the word out there. So if the fans raise up in support, I'll go to a publisher. If they don't, I'll continue to just do this as my passion project. When can we expect this to become available to buy? We're working on trying to make this available in the next month or two. We're doing our best. Is there only one kind of zombie like The Walking Dead, or are there tiers like The Last of Us and Left 4 Dead? I've only played Left 4 Dead like maybe 2 hours at my girlfriend's brother's house years ago, and I had a lot of fun. We got stoned out of our minds, shut off the lights, and I remember using the flashlights and being spooked out and loving it. So I don't know what you really mean off the top of my head for Left 4 Dead. However, The Last of Us, I definitely understand, and I absolutely respect the creativity of the zombies in The Last of Us, and even though the game gets a ton of hype, I think their zombies are incredibly underrated. They're some of the most unique and impressive creations as a zombie fan that we've gotten in the past 40 years, you know what I mean? Maybe even more. Oh my God, they're fantastic. It's like taking something that has been done to death, literally, and putting such a refreshing spin on it that I absolutely love it. You can even see the clicker where behind me, yeah, right there. There's one of the clickers. That's like the third stage. I think there's infected, there's like runners, and then there's clickers, and then bloaters. Yes, there's not just one kind of zombies. There will be tiers. However, don't get really wild. You know, it's not a video game where I do love how they tiered theirs, but I don't need anything as crazy as a bloater, you know. But there is tiers. There's just not one zombie. Different tiers, so different progressions, let's say. Are you going to tell what causes the zombies? Absolutely. That is a crucial part of the story. And again, I might even have to spoil that to set the difference. You know, if people are still not convinced yet that I'm doing everything in my power to make this different from The Walking Dead, what causes the zombies is going to be something I'm definitely going to have to use in my tagline, so to speak. Are you going to be releasing them month to month after issue 1? I would love to, but I don't know if we're capable of doing that. Alright, it looks like we're going to have to stop here and do a 4th Q&A video. For you guys who definitely want to know everything, you're getting what you asked for. Be careful what you asked for. So let's stop it here. I'll see you in the 4th Q&A for Dead Living. Thank you very much for all your support. I really appreciate it. Thoughts and opinions in that comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn.
Subscribe now.